I'm Edwin Hostetter, the former owner of the Hostetter's Clothing and Shoe Store in Palmyra. I was born in Lebanon and met my wife Lucille, who was born in Palmyra, back in 1941. In 1955, I left San Georgia because Ed Keeney wanted to sell his men's clothing department. So I purchased it in 1955, in August of 1955. And Keeney's men's clothing originated with Arb Disney back in 1936.
Okay.
He had the men's clothing store on the south side, which was kind of around the Hollywood shop. And,
on Main Street, we're talking south side of Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Arb, then in 1942, I believe he was drafted in the Army, so he liquidated his men's clothing store and stored his equipment. And he came back from the service and was going to open a men's store, but he built a new home, and he ran into a lot of additional expense because of rock in Palmyra. So he had no money to open the store. So Ed Keeney supplied the inventory. He bought the fixtures from Arb, and he bought the inventory and opened the men's clothing store. In the meantime, Ed Keeney had bought in 1943 Mara Shoe Store, which was down on Locust and Main Street, and moved it up to the old Monarch grocery store building, and which was also the former Palmyra post office.
Right, and that's in the first block of the north side of Main Street from Railroad West.
It's now been torn down.
Right.
And that's where he opened up. Then on the west side of this building, he opened up Arb Keeney's men's clothing store. So they were there together. Well, I believe it was in 1954, Ed and Arb didn't get along too well. So Arb left and went down to the state liquor store in the shopping center in Palmyra. And then he hired another fellow, and he wanted to get out of the clothing business. And I wanted to leave the San Georgia Macaroni. Keeney and I got together, and I took over the men's store because I had worked part-time when I was in high school in Lebanon at the Lawns clothing store. So I had some experience in the store. And from that time then, Keeney operated the shoe side and I operated the men's clothing store, and we enlarged the men's side and we put in boys' clothing, so we had boys and men's. Well, Ed Keeney got sick in 1980, and in '81 he passed away, so I bought the shoe store. And then in 1960, and the building was owned by J. Early Stauffer, the Iceman in Palmyra.
Okay.
So I wanted to buy the building, but Mrs. Stauffer wouldn't sell it to me. So fortunately, in the end of 1962, the Trinity United, not the United Church of Christ, wanted to build a new church out at their present location. So they owned the loose property, which was right next door. And the next door to the loose property was Smith's Funeral Home. So I was able to arrange financing to Attorney Al Lewis to buy the loose property. We tore that down and we built a store there in '63. September '63 we moved there to the new store, and we added the ladies' clothing store, the ladies' clothing line, which was very successful. And in the meantime, in '62, Smith the Undertaker passed away. So we, of course, we were able to buy that property because the Lebanon National Bank had it for sale. 1963, Seltzer's Theater had been empty for a few years, and it was put up for sale. Bill Erb, the realtor, had it for sale. And he came to me after we had moved in our new store and so forth, and indicated that they wanted to sell the Seltzer Theater for around $32,000. So I went over and looked at it, at least the surroundings and so forth. And I went to see Harold Herr, the GE dealer, and we got together and we formed a corporation with some of the other merchants in town. Ralcon was the name of the company that we had. I was president of Ralcon, and I went to see Mrs. Jaffe, who owned the Lee 5 and 10 building and Shutter's Bar and so forth. Why the Ralcon Corporation bought the theater, the Jaffe building, which is 5 and 10, for $29,000. So we went to the two banks for financing, and we went to the Borough Council to get them on the idea of selling them part of the corner, to cut the corner so that the north and south railroads would be more straight in line, north and south. And after many months of negotiations with the Borough Hall, the Borough Council, well, they finally decided to buy a piece of the corner that you see that's now in greens and so forth. And
okay, so the theater, well, those of us who remember the Seltzer's Theater, it's really where that.
That's the original theater
that
building.
Was the original theater building.
Yeah, and we tore the entrance away and all the way up to the corner.
Oh, because I was thinking they destroyed the theater and put that there new, but that was the original theater.
That was the theater.
Oh.
And we leveled the floor, because the theater floor slanted.
Right.
We leveled the floor with a stage, and we put a second floor on it, because the theater was that high, about 24 feet high.
Yeah. Now, did the Lee's 5 and 10, that you said the Yaffes owned the building,
Yeah.
how long was Lee's 5 and 10 open? Up until that time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
actually
In fact, the deal was then that Lee would move into the main part, which is now the sporting goods store.
Okay.
And Lee moved in there. We finished the building, at least for Lee's, so they could move out, so we could tear down the building in front.
Well, it brings back all kinds of memories sitting there.